on, guys? It's your boy ARCA NASCAR Starting Parker here. Colby Evans here with a little bit of a short news video. Usually I do these ARCA NASCAR Backmarker review videos, but we only have a little bit of news today to cover, so let's get right into it. We have two big ARCA newses today, and we have some Backmarker news on some truck teams that I love to share for you. So first, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We just passed over 300 subs. I, again, cannot thank you guys enough for your support. It means so much to me, and I want to get to 500. That's our next giveaway date. So like and subscribe, guys. Again, thank you so much. And also follow me on Twitter at StartingParker. It'll be all in the description. And again, guys, you guys are the best. You make this possible. So let's get right into it. We had some big news just after I did the ARCA Racing podcast. Kyle Busch driver Sammy Smith was actually announced he'll be skipping the truck series as for now and going straight to the Xfinity series. He'll be piloting the number 18 Toyota for JGR at tracks such as Road America, Pocono, Michigan, Watkins Glen, Kansas, Bristol, Martinsville, and the finale at Phoenix. I'm actually quite interested to see how he does personally. He's done very well in the ARCA series, but again, he's had the best car. Now, again, we all know JGR Xfinity equipment is very, very good. But this is not, a 15, 16 car, ARCA field with starting parks, cars 3 or 4 seconds a lap off the pace. I mean, it's a whole different scenery. So I'm going to be really curious to see how Sammy, navigates these cars, navigates traffic, and doesn't just pull away. I mean, yeah, he's used to it on the late model circuit, and he's done a lot in ARCA, but this is the big leagues, man, for him at least. So I'm really curious. Will I think he'll do good? Absolutely. I think Sammy Smith is naturally talented. I think he'll do a very, very nice job. Like I said, though, I am optimistic of putting him all the way up to Xfinity series without going truck racing. Now, it's safe to say, even Haley Diggins commented on it, a little bit of sidetrack, that, the truck series, the etiquette, it hasn't been all perfect. So maybe, I guess you could look at it from the way of the truck series maybe isn't as etiquette as we want Sammy to grow in. And I agree. From that perspective, I can see why they would want him from ARCA straight up to Xfinity, because we've seen this year, the truck series has been quite a mess. It really has. So I can understand the move that Kyle Busch Motorsports and JGR are doing. Instead of putting him in another KBM truck, rather him just go to the 18 car for the Xfinity series and fill out some of the remaining races that they have left. Expected sponsorships that have been with Sammy on the ARCA side, Northland Oil, Flying J and Pilot are expected to sponsor. Obviously, with TMC, I don't believe that they can sponsor due to the partnership that Joe Gibbs Racing has with FedEx. So that's a shame. We might get to see TMC in the lower divisions, but we won't get to see TMC sponsoring a Joe Gibbs Xfinity car again, because I don't believe you can have two shipping companies. I don't think FedEx would allow that. That's kind of what it is. I don't think FedEx would allow another shipping company, especially as big as TMC is, to go right up there and compete with them. But nonetheless, I wish him the best of luck. I think it'll go very well. Certainly a lot better than Drew Dollar, I guess we could all say. The tracks, though, I am optimistic. Debuting a guy at Road America, especially when Sammy himself does not have... He's got some decent road racing experience. It's not like he has nothing. But debuting at Road America, of all places, man, I don't know how that's going to go. He's locked into the field by a mile, so it's not like they have to worry about that. It's just really interesting that you would debut a guy at a road course that doesn't really have... He's got road racing experience. Don't get me wrong. He does. Sammy Smith does. But he's not professionally known for being an overly great road course racer. He's predominantly on the ovals. But I'm very curious. I do think it's an ultimate test for him. You're debuting in the second biggest league of NASCAR racing with elite equipment at a road course. Go out there and see what you can do. I think that from that perspective, that's a good idea. Some tracks that I think will definitely fit him, Michigan, Kansas, especially Bristol and Martinsville. and even Phoenix, because he was very dominant there in the ARCA race despite not winning. And he is actually also racing the other road course at Watkins Glen. So they're really putting a lot of faith in him to run well in the road courses. When I know he's run a couple of Trans Am races, I think even maybe 1 or 2 this year, but I didn't know Sammy Smith was known for his road course abilities. So that I am curious about. But nonetheless, this is a great opportunity for our ARCA East Championship points leader and our main ARCA Racing Series driver, which unfortunately, again, guys, he won't win the championship, but we've already discussed that. It does make me wonder next year. He does have the sponsorship behind him. Will they go straight to Xfinity, or will they go after the ARCA Championship again next year? I could see that, and I really hope they go that route. Sammy is not ready for trucks. Especially, I mean, okay, you could say he is ready for trucks, but I would put him in something, more matured, like an Xfinity team. So I would basically do the exact same thing they're doing this year, next year, full-time ARCA, once again with KBM, and then running like half the season or like 10 races in Xfinity. And then if you want to do full-time Xfinity in 2024. I think by then he'll have plenty of experience on ovals, plenty of experience on road courses in both divisions, and he'll be more than ready for a full-time shot at Xfinity in 2024. Some new, more ARCA news we have before we get to our NASCAR portion. Some big money news for ARCA. ARCA's not really been well known for its high payouts, but there is a huge money on the line for the 2 dirt races this season. New Performance Seed Dirt Double puts $50K on the line for ARCA races at Springfield and DuQuoin. Was released June 10th. Tradition is most important to the ARCA Racing Series, and while the dirt courses have been on the ARCA schedule since 1953, it'll feature a special prize money claim this year. For 2022, a new twist has been added with the Performance Seed Dirt Double, which will offer a $50,000 prize money to any driver who can win both of the dirt racing events at DuQuoin and Springfield. Should that bonus go unclaimed, like if the driver does not win both races, it simply is the average finish of the highest driver, and that will receive a $5,000 bonus gang. I think this is definitely a great idea. It's going to give incentive to enter these dirt races because we've definitely seen over the last year or two, the dirt races have not been receiving good entry lists at all. I think the average last year for both races was about 15 or 16. It was really sad. It really was. I mean, especially for anyone who watched that, I don't know if it was DuQuoin or Springfield last year, where the track was just ripping apart cars. It was just a mess of a race. I do think it'll give incentive for a lot of these teams to enter. Hopefully some extra guys, some road ringers. Maybe we see Justin Allgaier and Kelly Kobski come back with the Allgaier Motorsports team. Maybe Landon Lewis and the 2 team, they run again. But I think it's a good idea because it promotes better money for the series, and it probably will help with car counts, and that's always a good thing. So I'm really excited for this. The dirt races are a little bit farther down in the season, so we definitely have about another month or 2 before they come up, but it's definitely going to give the incentive to watch more, and that, my friend, I'm excited about. So moving on to our NASCAR portion, guys. Once again, thank you for joining me. We haven't seen her this much this season, really only than Daytona. She was part of the Busch Beer program at the beginning of the year, but we would later find out that the sponsorship there was really pretty much non-existent, despite Jennifer only being one of the only people to actually run a Busch Light logo. It appears that she hasn't received anything for it like a lot of the other people have. But for all the people who have been wondering about updates with Jennifer Jo Cobb, she did post an update to her Facebook after the recent open house at Jennifer Jo Cobb Racing. Pictures show she doesn't have a lot of trucks in her shop. I only counted 2. Maybe that's not what all the pictures are showing, but the 2 trucks that you can distinctively see in Jennifer Jo Cobb's race shop is the plate truck she ran with at Daytona earlier this year, and then the Ford that she had been running on the short tracks in 2021. She would put into a Facebook post I'm starting off by thanking everyone who is coming to the event, and actually put out a press release saying that she was supposed to be running Sonoma this weekend. So we will go over it right here, and just bear with me for 1 second. One of our sponsors, this is from Jo Cobb Racing. You guys can go check this article out yourselves if you want, but I'm going to read it for you. One of our sponsors contacted a team and made a deal for me to drive Sonoma this week. It was a wonderful surprise for me on my birthday weekend. Also, shout out happy birthday to Jo Cobb. To go race without the stress of owning a team. Apparently, though, there was a higher bidder on the ride, and the team backed out of the deal less than a week before the trucks had to leave. For a moment, we were committed to put the 10 together, so I entered it before the deadline. We have awesome vendors. Competition Gears got us together within hours. Our shock guy, Josh, committed to build our shocks. I gathered 5 to 7 crew members to give up their summer weekend and help get the truck prepped. Our neighbor, Kevin Cram, helped me get a game plan together. That would explain why on the entry list, we did see the number 10 truck withdrawn, but we did see the number 10 of Jo Cobb on the entry list. That is the explanation as to why. Continued on. For a moment, we were committed to put the 10 together. Oh, God, I'm sorry, guys. Despite this, with fuel prices, 39 trucks entered, and a lack of time for the fine-tuned details, it just seemed better to come back when it made a bit more sense. And obviously, guys, you have to understand that, the 10 truck has no owner points. Jo Cobb is not a road racer. So you can obviously put 2 and 2 together as to why she withdrew her truck. She pretty much knew she'd had no chance or little chance of making this race. Continuing on, our next target race is Nashville, which I believe is in a couple of weeks. The problem with this race is we do not have the 2022 body on the truck for this type of track. NASCAR is penalizing the older bodies, but I'm thinking we should go make an effort anyway. I want to get back to the track. I want to see our fans and get behind the wheel. It may not be the best optimal situation like I had hoped for a return, but it could make sense to go give our best shot and have some fun. There's never an easy path. So many variables, it's hard to keep your date as I'd like. But please know behind the scenes, we're for sure that we will race again this year. And, I've been a fan of Jo Cobb for a long time. I will admit, a lot of us watched last year. It was a real struggle for her last year. A lot of fans and I have really wondered how her and Norm Benning, they're fierce rivals on and off track. They do not like each other. But that aside, how, Norm and Jennifer were able to hang on for so many years, despite not being really anywhere competitive. I still cheered them on every week because I just wanted them to finish. Any race that they made, I wanted them to finish. I'm sure a lot of you guys were the same way. But, let's face it, especially last year, they were in the way a lot. I would easily go on record to say that 2021 was probably the worst year that we've seen Norm and Jennifer in terms of on-track performance. And that's just because the equipment just gets older. It's not really the driver talent. It's not the driver's really fault. I mean, that's your opinion to decide. But I would also say that the older equipment doesn't help either, especially, these elite teams and even mid-pack teams who can afford these great equipment or decent equipment week to week to week. When these guys, like Norm and Jennifer are running the same thing week to week to week. So obviously you want to see Jennifer back at the track. I do. She showed at Daytona that she had the speed to make the show. Just barely missed the show by a little bit. But either way, I hope to see Jennifer back, and we'll have to see how Nashville goes for that team. Speaking of, I was just saying Norm Benning. Norm Benning has some news to announce. RacingJunk.com partners up with Norm Benning Racing. Now, in case you guys don't know what RacingJunk.com is, I strongly suggest you guys check it out. It is one of the coolest websites ever. If you guys ever wanted to literally buy a stock car, a former NASCAR, a former ARCA car, it's on there. It's on there for actually a really decent price. They sell haulers, they sell race cars, they sell really any kind of car item, anything. It's literally racing junk. It's awesome. I strongly suggest you guys check it out. I'll probably put a link in the description. I really want you guys to check out this website. But RacingJunk.com partners with Norm Benning Racing. We'll read the press pass right here. RacingJunk.com is the flagship website of the internet brands automotive. Is excited to announce a partnership with Norm Benning Racing. The two properties have joined forces for a multi-year media share collaboration where Racing Junk will serve as the official marketplace of Norm Benning Racing. Representing Pennsylvania, Norm Benning currently owns and drives the number 6 Chevrolet in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Known for his never lift drive style, it's a good for Norm to never lift. For Norm, it's true both and on and off the track. His storied career has earned national accolades, a very loyal national fan base, and very well-earned nicknames, including the Eldora Darling and the Ultimate Underdog, and NASCAR's blue-collar, hard-working man. Legendary NASCAR driver Tony Stewart even said it best, Norm Benning represents what Americans love about NASCAR, old-fashioned hard work, tendency, and perseverance. RacingJunk.com went on to say, we are incredibly excited to announce that we have partnered with the world's #1 racing and performance marketplace, Racing Junk. We believe at Norm Benning Racing, we embody the local Saturday night blue-collar grassroots racing community. Our partnership with Racing Junk will allow us to continue and advocate for local racers while strengthening our efforts throughout the 2022 race season and beyond. I am hopeful that this will hopefully bring some sponsorship to the team, or at least get the team more noticed. You know, Norm, with the bigger truck fields this season, not having the most successful 2021 season, Norm kind of took a step back this season. Did show up to Bristol with great sponsorship, but unfortunately didn't have the speed. He will be at Knoxville next weekend again, but that might be a tough task. I am hearing, there's close to 40 entries for that race. But either way, anytime, Storm and Norm get some, accolades or get some, partnerships, it's always a good thing. I'm part of the Norm Benning fan base. I've been cheering I remember the days of the red 57. We're all big Norm fans. Norm's got a lot of haters today, but real fans, like the real NASCAR fans that were back in the early 2010s, you guys know who you are. You guys were with me, and we were cheering on that 57 every week. But yeah, either way, good luck to Norm and Jennifer. They're kind of the two last big low budget underdogs in the NASCAR Truck Series. A lot of the Truck Series teams, I was just at Gateway a week ago, and I'll just say, the days of low budget truck teams, I don't see it anymore. Even the truck teams that don't run all that well and run about 30th, they're still showing great speed. It's not like they're, 2 to 3 seconds off the pace. The Truck Series may not have the best etiquette on track, but it's not like they have slow vehicles. They still have pretty competitive pace most of the time. But anyway, it makes me very excited to hopefully see these two underdogs back. I'm excited to see what ARCA driver Sammy Smith can do up in the Xfinity Series, and I really hope that we have a driver get that $50,000 win on the dirt tracks this year. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on this short episode of ARCA NASCAR Backmarker News. You guys take care. Again, keep liking and subscribing. We got another fun video coming up with you guys soon. And of course, we'll see you on the ARCA Racing podcast, Backmarker battles, and all that good stuff. So thank you guys very much. Take care. We'll see y'all real soon.